Hi, this is Mrs. Mars recording another higher level GCSE question. This has come from an Edexcel paper. It's just off the bottom of the page, but it's a 5-mark question. It's calculator allowed, and unfortunately it is going to give the game away. Well, I'm not going to do it totally, but it is sine and cosine rule. The reason I've written both is because if I say which one it is, it will give the game away. So always start checking that this is on the diagram. So ABC is a triangle, AB is 8.7, ABC is 49, so ABC, that is 49 degrees, ACB, that is 64 degrees. Calculate the area. Now, if this is at the beginning of the paper, we're going to go base times height divided by 2. But here's the problem. Even if you take that to be the base, you don't know the height. Okay. So, and the fact that this is quite near the end of the paper tells you that you have to use... You have to ignore my husband. He's making dinner. It's, exciting opportunity for him. He doesn't do it very often. So anyway, you look at your formula sheet, and this says that the area of this triangle is half AB sine C. Now, it doesn't really matter whether you know that angle or that angle or that angle. Basically, what it tells you is to find the area of this triangle, you do those two sides and what we call the included angle. So I call it like a sine sandwich. So you do half that times by sine of the angle between the two sides you know. Now, this brings me on to my next point. If you're still sat there thinking, what? Okay, do whatever you can. So you know, or you can find, that angle there. So you can do 64, add 49 is 113. Use your calculator if it's going to save you time. Angles in a triangle out to 180, so 180 take away 113 degrees is 67 degrees. Okay, so up there is 67 degrees. Now the next thing is, to be able to use this half AB sine C thing, it says that we need to know two sides and the included angle. So if you knew that and that, as long as you knew that angle, you could find it. Or if you knew that and that, as long as you had that angle, you could find the area. So if we look at what we've got is we've got that angle there. We know that side, but we don't know that one. Or if we use this angle here, we know that one, but we don't. So we don't have a sandwich. We don't have an angle sandwiched between two sides. So what that means is we need to find another side. Now you say to yourself, right, how do I find the lengths of sides in triangles? Well, I either use trigonometry, Pythagoras, okay, if it's right angled. This one isn't, so you either use the sine or the cosine rule. Now, if we look here, we have pair of information. I know that, and if I wanted to find this side here, for example, I have another pair. Now the pair has to include the thing that you're trying to find. So I've got a pair there and a pair there. Now if you've got pairs, that tells you you're going to use the sine rule. And here's the sine rule that says A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. So you use that version if you're trying to find a side. If you're trying to find an angle, you invert it. Sine A over A equals sine B over B equals sine C over C. So the next thing you do is you label your triangle. So I'm going to call the thing that I'm trying to find, I call A. That won't make any difference if you use this side instead. I'm going to call that A. Okay, so we've got big A here, little a here. We've got big C here, so we call that one little c. Always stays with the opposite angle. Big B there, so that's little b there. Now, if we use this sandwich, we've got A and the sine of it, and we want to find, that. So we've got A and sine A, and we have this pair of information. We don't have a pair here because we don't know that side. So what we need is C over sine C equals A over sine A. If in doubt, sub it in. So we do 8.7 over sine of 64. So C over sine C equals A, which we don't know, X over sine 67. Now you're trying to find X to cover it up. So what you need to do is get rid of that divide by sine 67. Now some people like to work this out first. It'll be a decimal. I'm going to do it in one go. So I'm going to say, right, this whole thing here, so 8.7 times by sine 67 is equal to X. So I put that into my calculator. Okay. So make sure that it is set in degrees, not in radians. If you get some weird answer, you either made a mistake or it's in radians. So we go 8.7 No, you can't see it. 8.7 divided by sine 64 equals, then times that by sine 67, and you get 8.91. Now, this mentioned the final answer 3SF. Really, I shouldn't round in the middle of this calculation, but I'm going to round it to 3 significant figures. So now I know that this length here is 8.91. It looks sensible, even though it's not drawn accurately. So 8.91 centimetres. Now, you probably think you're finished, but remember, you're trying to find the area. So to find the area, we do a half AB sine C. So as long as we've got 2 sides and a squashed in angle, so like an angle sandwich, then we can find the area. So if we look here, I know that one, I know that one, I know that one. Okay, so to find the area, do half AB sine C. Now the problem that we're going to have, well, not the problem, the confusion, is that people go, hang on, which one's A, which one's B, and so on. So if you need to relabel it, you can, but just as long as you trust that the fact that the side sandwich goes in there, and the angle sandwiched goes in there. So we just do a half times A, which in this case is RC, times the other sandwiching angle, side, sorry, times by sine 49. We put all that into our calculator. So if you don't want to put in 1/2, then we can put it as a decimal. So you do 0.5 times 8.7 times. Now I've already got that answer in my calculator, so I could put times by answer rather than round it. But because of the level of accuracy we're going to, it won't make any difference. So if I put all that in, half to that, and I forgot to put in my times by sine 49. So I get 29.25, 3 significant figures, 1, 2, 3, look to the right, 29.3 centimetres squared. Now you're probably thinking, hang on, that seems a bit big, because all these lengths here, but remember, you're finding the area of this triangle. So that is a lot of steps, I know, but remember, if it's a non-right angle triangle, fill in the angles you can first. Look, if you've got pairs, sine rule, cosine rule is sandwich, but I'll come on to that in another day, if you're obviously used to the way I do it. And remember, to find the area of a triangle, as long as you know 2 sides that squash in an angle, you just do half A, B, sine C. And if it bothers you, these labels, you can either relabel on the second go, or you can just remember that these are the ones that go either side of that angle that you know. Okay, well, I hope that makes sense. There are alternative ways, but in terms of, you could have found that angle instead of that one, sorry, that side instead of that one, but it will give you exactly the same answer. So I hope that helps. I'll be back again tomorrow. Take care, bye bye.